Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and in this video I'm going to review Season 3, Episode 4 of Awkward, Let's Talk About Sex. I gotta say, this episode was really funny. I was laughing hysterically in this episode, and there were just some really funny lines, and definitely Awkward was the perfect show to do this with, because yes, this is a very awkward subject to talk about. Not just the fact that Jenna and Maddie have been having sex, but the fact that, she's talking to her parents about sex, period. It's hard to, especially what Jenna's father did. I mean, that was kind of out of line. So let's just get to the episode. Of course, the main plot was Jenna's father finds out that Jenna and Maddie are having sex, and he calls up Maddie's parents because Maddie's parents do not know that they are having sex, and he calls up the parents, and they want a little, intervention. And I really love the scene when Jenna went up to Maddie and said, "Hey, so, yeah, my parents called you because they told us we were having, and my father called your parents and told them we were having sex. Gotta go by." That scene was really funny. And so Maddie, pretty much is not happy about this either. He does not want this to happen. And, they all end up having this conversation, and everything seems to be going well. You can definitely see, though, that Jenna's parents' values are much more different than Maddie's parents' values. I gotta say, I agree with Jenna's parents' values. Even though I feel like you shouldn't have sex till you are married, I do feel like Jenna's parents said the right thing. They gotta provide them with birth control in case something happens. And it kind of just came into a big argument. I thought that was really funny, especially the part when Jenna's mom, when Maddie's mom told Jenna's mom that she was a hippie, and Jenna's mom said, "I'm not a hippie, hippies have fake boobs." That was hilarious. That was one of the best lines of the episode, I think. So yeah, that was really funny. I also really loved the whole thing with, so I really enjoyed that. So then it kind of comes into this big debate with all of them, and, again, I have to agree with Jenna's parents. Even though I feel that you should wait till you have sex till you're married, which I know that's really old-fashioned, a lot of people say that, but I think so, that's just the way I think about things. I do feel like you gotta supply them in case things could happen, because Jenna's parents are right. You gotta be prepared for what could happen. It's better to be prepared than to, and Maddie's parents say, "Oh, are you telling your children to be promiscuous?" And I think that's really out of line. They were trying to get them prepared in case something happens. You never know. I'm sure they don't want their children to have sex, but, I mean, think about Jenna's parents. Jenna's mother had her when she was a teenager. And Jenna's father also, they were a teenage couple, and they had Jenna when they were teenagers. So, I mean, they definitely had really good values, and I was really glad that they brought that up. Then we get a really nice scene with Jenna's mother. I really enjoyed this scene. Pretty much Jenna's mother says to Jenna that she is always going to be there for her. She knows she's not the best mom, but she's there for her, and she really agrees with everything. And Jenna says, and her mom actually says to her, and I really love this part, Jenna's mom said her favorite part of having a child is their relationship. And I think that's great. I was really glad we saw Jenna's father, too. We don't really see her father a lot. We see her mother a lot. But we saw her father in this episode, and yeah, I like her father. He's really funny. So yeah. So then what happens is, Maddie and his parents get into a really big fight, and Maddie needs a place to crash and stay at, and he ends up staying at Jenna's house. I think this is going to be really funny, especially from the promo. It looks like Maddie's going to taking over Jenna's house. They're probably not even going to have sex or anything like that. They're probably just going to have a terrible time there, because, I mean, it's two, it's a 3-person house, and Maddie's going to be living there. I don't know, where the living arrangement's going to be like. I think it could be quite funny. So now let's get to the Sadie stuff / Tamara and Jake stuff. I want to first talk about the Sadie stuff. Okay. I feel really bad for Sadie still. People are picking on her because people know that her parents are broke and it's not going well for her. And one of the cheerleaders talks to Jenna, and Jenna ends up hurting that cheerleader. And that cheerleader ends up getting hurt, and everyone's saying, oh, we gotta have an alternate. And Sadie said, no, we can't have an alternate. That's terrible when things like that happens. Everyone's been telling you how that's kind of like Bring It On. I agree, it is a lot like Bring It On. Although it was not like Bring It On very much, because Bring It On, it was more that this was a person they did not know, whereas Awkward, it was a person they did know. So they end up bringing up an alternate, and the alternate is Tamara. I think that is fantastic, perfect for Tamara. I'm surprised she's not already a cheerleader, because, I mean, she's so outgoing, she's so loud. Why isn't she a cheerleader? Honestly, I don't know why she's not a cheerleader already. I think she'd be great. She's going to be a great cheerleader, I'm sure. So she gets really, really happy, and prior to this, she said she wants to have sex with Jake, but she doesn't know when to. She's waiting for the right time, and she calls up Jake on the phone, and she decides that she wants to have sex with him, but things do not go well for Jake and Tamara, because he still has the stuff that he planned when him and Jenna were going to have sex, when he wanted to have sex with Jenna. And Tamara's not happy by this. She feels like she's always second best. I was glad it wasn't all about the sex in this episode. Like, it was more than the sex. It was more with, Jenna, it was more with, other stuff. Tamara kind of feels like she's second best, and they end up talking about their first time. They end up having sex, and the first time it doesn't work, but it happens another time it does work. And I really love the ending where, Jenna can tell that Tamara had sex just by the way she's talking, and so, yeah, I really enjoyed that. So I really like, Tamara and Jake together. I think they're really cute together. They're perfect together. Jen and Maddie, I like them together too. I don't think they're going to do the breakup thing now. I don't know what I was thinking last week, honestly. They're not going to do that. Now let's get to what I thought was actually really good at this episode. It wasn't all sex. That's what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be sex. That's all they were going to talk about. I was glad it wasn't just that, because we also had some intelligent stuff with the writing teacher. I think this writing teacher is going to end up, right now he seems really mean. I think he's going to be sort of a mentor to Jenna, and maybe like a wake-up call to her. I think this was a wake-up call to her, because Jenna pretty much thought she writes these essays, and the teacher does not like any of the essays. He even ends up kicking out one of them. I thought that was really funny. He ends up kicking out one of them, and he tells Jenna how she needs to start thinking about, she needs to be more creative with her writing, and I think he's right with this. I think if she wants to do a good essay, she has to be more creative, and again, the season's all about who do I want to be. Jenna doesn't know yet. I think personally she'd be a good writer. We've heard in her narrations, and he says how everything is text and things like that, everything is shortened, and he says she can't express herself without using abbreviations. I thought this was a really good scene, because even though it was really funny, it does show that Jenna really doesn't know who she wants to be yet. She knows who she wants to be, but she knows who she is, but who does she want to be? What does she want to be when she grows up? What is she going to do for a living? I think she should be a journalist, or a writer, or an author, or something like that. Something with writing, because we always hear her monologues. I always love her monologues. It's part of why I love this show. And I just think that was a really, really great scene. Now I'm going to talk about a few of the scenes that I thought were really, really funny. My favorite scenes probably were definitely in this scene with Jenna's parents and Maddie's parents. But I did like a couple of scenes before that. Like the scene where Jenna's father was talking to her about STDs. That scene was hilarious. Or the scene, because I mean, it's definitely, Awkward was a perfect show to do this, because this was an awkward episode tonight. I gotta say, that's why I thought it was so funny, because they put Jenna in the most uncomfortable situation tonight. Who in their right mind would do this? You don't call somebody else's parents up and say, oh, my child's having sex with your child. That's not what you say. And I love the part where she's like, my dad went through all 5 stages of anger, and he created a new one, broadcasting. I thought that was really funny. I thought the scene where her mom tried to cover up the birth control pills was really funny, where she's like, we got it for you as a birthday present. Happy birthday. That scene was hilarious. I just thought the whole episode as a whole was very, very funny. Next week, it seems really interesting. It looks like in next week's episode, We're going to see what happened exactly with Tamara being a cheerleader. We'll see that. We'll also see Maddie living at Jenna's house. I think that could be really funny. I really hope they don't break up, though. I keep thinking they're trying to break them up, but I really hope that doesn't happen because I like Jake and Tamara together. I wouldn't want them to break up. I would like Maddie and Jenna to stay together. If Jenna does break up with Maddie or Maddie breaks up with Jenna, she should just go with someone else. Don't go to Jake. Jake and Tamara are happy together, okay? Don't ruin them. Yeah, so I really would like it if they don't screw with them. Tamara is going to be invited to a sleepover, and they try to summon Ricky Schwartz to see if he's dead or not, and he ends up saying no, so this should be very interesting. Overall, I thought this episode as a whole was very, very funny. It was consistently funny. One of the funniest episodes, I think, of the season. I absolutely loved it, so 10 out of 10, again, for Awkward. Really, really love this show. It can do no wrong. That's it for my review of Awkward, Season 2, Episode 4. Let's talk about sex. I'm sure this was a very awkward episode for you to watch. What were your reactions to some of the things Jenna's father was talking to her about? I thought everything he was said to her was hilarious. What did you think of the awkward scene between Jenna's parents and Maddie's parents? What did you think of Tamara and Jake? Do you think they handled it right? Do you think, what do you think is going to happen there? What do you think is going to happen with Sadie? Do you think Sadie is going to get jealous of Tamara? I personally think Tamara would become head cheerleader. I think that's what might happen because everyone, when it was time for them to vote for the alternate, everyone voted yes except Sadie. I think Sadie is going to get downgraded. I really think that's where they're going with this. And so I really, really love this episode. That's it for my review of Awkward. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!